Shalom, friends. My name is Aaron, and this is Theresa. We are starting a YouTube channel called Foster Family and Faith. It's something that we've felt very led to do for some time, and the biggest catalyst for that is because we're a large family. Theresa and I together have 10 children. We have 6 boys and 4 girls, and it's we know, especially in our current Western culture, a very strange thing to see a family that big. Although I will say that we've personally met quite a few large families. They seem like really kind people, and we'll be out at the park like we are today, or at the zoo, and people who do have a lot of children will go out of their way to come greet us. And not just because they have that in common with us, but because they want to share encouragement and tell us that they're happy to see our large family. So there's probably more large families than most people would think, but we do know that we're different. And it's a different life that we live, and I think increasingly so as we've been together for going on 14 years. I'm not wrong, right?
14 years.
Okay. And as our family has grown, so 10 children in 14 years, and we don't have any twins, and we don't have any triplets or quadruplets or anything like that. They've come one at a time. We've sort of been forced to live differently, and we find, not because we think we're smarter than everybody, is we have things that we think are very valuable about being in a large family, and they're things we'd like to share, and I think they're valuable to any size family. A lot of it's just because it was necessity. We've learned a lot about what children are capable of. Specifically, one of the areas we talk about a lot is responsibility, and kids are really able to handle a lot of responsibility, and with joy, not just bear under it unhappily. But we wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have known to do that unless we had our family growing the way that it was, so quickly that at times it seemed we just got used to having 5 kids, and then the 6th was on the way, and then we just got used to having 6, and number 7 was on the way. And we really needed our older children to take on greater responsibility, and we found through that necessity just how capable they are, and what the benefits for them personally, not just for our family, have been because we've done that. So we just want to share those things. And I'm 41 years old, and currently Theresa is 35 years old. I'm not going to make Theresa older.
A couple more months.
I usually try to give her an extra year.
Yeah.
Today I won't do that. And we've reflected quite a bit on, say, just like the last decade, how much things have changed in the world and our country. Just there's so much that's different, and so much of it was so completely unexpected. And it really makes us wonder what we're in store for in the next 10, 15, 20 years. And these days I don't know how quickly we would say we're Christians. I mean, I certainly won't deny that, but it's really a name, the name of a religion, the name of a group of people, the name of a political ideology that's completely misunderstood.
Yeah.
So we would be a lot quicker to tell you that we're people that believe the Holy Scriptures. I mean, we believe that the Bible is a collection of works. Yeah, they're written by men, but they are the inspired works, and that the people who wrote the Bible were people who were inspired by God to do so, and that the Bible has a very real and poignant, for all times, for all ages, message about who we are as people, why we're here, what life is all about, how to make it through life, and what the ultimate meaning of life is, not just as we're breathing air here in this world, but when we move on from this world. So we believe that wholeheartedly, and we believe in the teachings of Christ, who you'll hear us say Yeshua HaMashiach, which is certainly much more likely to be closer, at least, to his real name when he was a man on the earth than saying Jesus Christ. But we were just talking about it before we started this video, I'm 41 years old. I've been saying Jesus Christ for nearly 30 years. And so will I ever exclusively say Yeshua HaMashiach? I can't say that I will, but we'll say both, just kind of explaining why. But that's who we are, the faith that we have in our Creator, and the understanding that we have that we're people who, just like the Apostle Paul wrote, we want to do well, we want to do right, but we find ourselves sometimes doing the things that we don't want to do, and there's things we know we don't want to do. Really, at the core of who we are, these aren't the things that we want to do, and we find ourselves doing them sometimes. We're not able to be good all the time. We're not able to be the people that we desire to be all the time. And we are guilty of breaking God's laws, of transgressing, and we need an advocate. We needed a Savior. And we need that Savior every day, and we do believe absolutely that Savior is Yeshua. We won't be, we won't ever be ashamed of that. At the core of who we are, faith is the most important thing to each of us individually, and then, as a family, and then, the second thing that's most important to us is family. And in our culture, it's really hard to put family in that position. There's so many other things pulling our attention, our affection, our resources, and it's a real battle to put family in that position where it belongs. And again, out of necessity, it's something that we've done, and we've learned a lot of really valuable lessons doing it, and we want to share that with you. So we will introduce our children. Our oldest son will be 13. He will be in some of the videos with us, with me. The other children won't be in the videos, and we'll have them.
They're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to be in the videos until they're teens. Now, our oldest son is not 13 yet, but he's very mature, and he'll be 13 very soon. We're very protective of our children, but we'll introduce them to you, and you'll hear them, and we're going to ask them what they like about being in a big family, or what they think about it, and we'll let them tell you if there's something they don't like about being in a big family. We'll try to be real honest.
Our last name is Foster, so that's why.
Right, our last name is Foster, and that's why it's Foster Family and Faith. And, we like our last name. It's a very meaningful name, and we think it's very fitting for our lives. And we've always thought that maybe we'd write a book, and every year we were sending off a letter. You can talk a little bit about our Christmas letter and why we're not doing that anymore.
Well, we started writing letters when we moved here to Louisiana, just to keep people updated with what's going on in our lives, and that has turned into.
And how long ago was that we started writing them?
10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, so we've been doing that every year, and it turned into a tradition. I feel like it's hard to find the time to do that, because obviously there's a lot to do with a big family.
Teresa's very good. She's a very good writer, and so she puts a lot of time and energy into it.
I do.
So it's not something that she just throws together.
Yeah.
And she probably would get to this, but we find that people would be commenting that they look forward to getting the letter, and not so much as that we thought about it as a burden, but it was something we felt compelled to do, because we really did believe that people were very interested to hear what was going on in our lives. And I think part of that was because of the openness with which we shared what was going on. We've shared our difficulties and our triumphs, and whatever you think about faith and Christianity and the Bible and miracles, I have to tell you that we've experienced some pretty amazing things in our lives, and we've shared those things, and we've had a lot of people express that they look forward to getting the letter, and so it's something that we've held on to until this year. And you just felt like you couldn't do it anymore.
Yes, yeah, and so that encouraged us, kind of pushed us along to get into making videos instead, because it seems like it's more practical, I guess, now.
Yeah, I think it's more practical. The other thing when Theresa would write is, and she was really she's very good at it, but I would always feel a need to edit, and I would try to fix any minor grammatical errors, which there's a lot less the last couple than there had been in the past. So I think she kind of got to the point where she pretty much perfected it, and then we stopped doing it. But that's good. You got really good at it before we quit. And there was always something maybe I'd add, or I'd think a little bit about. You know, we worked together on it. You know, I would go through the letter and see, well, maybe there's something I wouldn't put quite that way, or so you know, Theresa had to put all this time into writing it, and this wasn't a one page on the or on the back of a photo card kind of thing. Like, you know, this was like we'd make the margins really small, so we could squeeze all of the words onto as few a piece of paper as possible, and we still had
like usually about 7 pages.
About seven front,
total,
front and back, seven with the front and back. Like, you know, we're not talking about double spaced with wide margins, so we really filled it up. So, and then when Theresa was done with it, feeling all this pressure to get it out, and we'd send it out around the holidays, and so there was this pressure to get it done at that time, and then I felt pressure to get it edited, read it, have her kind of be the second editor to see if I had any spelling errors or grammatical errors. So, you know, it was a 3-step process before we then printed them up, went out and took a family Christmas photo, and then sent them off to something like 80 people. And you know, I think that, you know, whether we wanted it or not, and I'll tell you that we didn't want it. Now, Theresa, I would say, is less introverted than myself, but she's introverted. I'm introverted, and if anybody doesn't understand what that means, it doesn't mean that you're not sociable. It means that when you're around people too much, it kind of sucks the energy out of you, and you need to be alone for a little while. And we're very private, and we understand the importance of protecting our children. It's easy not to recognize how dangerous our world is for our children, and we've always tried to be really mindful of that. But we are, Theresa much more so than myself, because she's out with the children more than I am. Theresa's a local celebrity. You can kind of share a little bit about what your life is like when you leave the house with your children.
Yeah, you know, if no one stops us during an outing, that's an unusual day. It's pretty common for a few people to stop us and inquire about the family and want to find out about them, and you can tell like that they would like to hang around longer and find out as much as they can about this family, because it's just so other than what they're used to, but they don't want to be rude. So we felt like clearly even people we don't know are interested in just life, I guess, for a big family, and so we felt like it seems fitting for us just to do public videos now.
Yeah, well, now, you know, beyond that, beyond just random people stopping you, you know, the thing that I always remember, these sort of stories I remember, is like you go to the post office, and then the clerk at the post office remembers you right away.
Oh yeah, she
knows all the kids'
names of the children.
Oh, so-and-so's not here with you today.
Like, sometimes I don't know, like I don't want to go, because like she tells everybody in the post office all about my family every time.
And there's a lot of that. I mean, every store you shop at, there's somebody there, and you know, more than one person. Who knows who you are?
Yeah, I was walking through the grocery store, and someone working there is like, "Oh, you're missing one of your kids."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "I am." And I did a head count, and I'm like, "Oh, they're all there."
Yeah, we count.
Like, I didn't see that one over there.
We count a lot of heads. We do a lot of counting. I'll tell you what, there's nobody better at counting to 10.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think we're mostly counting to 9, because the baby's always attached to you right now. So nobody counts to 9 better than we do. But there was, for me to share one was now I don't remember honestly. I'd have to think hard about it, but it was not our last child, maybe the one before that. So our little girl, our second to last child, when she was born, I did what I normally do. I took the rest of the children to the store to buy flowers for Mom, and that was kind of our habit, that I would. And I do a pretty good job putting together the flower arrangements, by the way.
Yeah.
And really bring in something that made everybody's head turn, you know, because certainly this mother here deserves a good bunch of flowers. And so we went into the local Whole Foods, and I walked in, and this woman I'd never seen before in my life. I don't know who she was. Oh, your wife must have had the baby. Here getting flowers, and you know, I'm like, who are you, and how do you know anything about me? But you know, not many people, there's less people know me. The people who know me certainly tell everybody they know about how many children we have, but if I go out with my children, they're celebrities, even though I don't want them to be. And now I say that jokingly. We don't have any intentions of being celebrities. We
No.
don't want our children to be celebrities. And we just want to share what's on our hearts to share, and hope that it will be, and we really have faith that it will be, a blessing to some people. You know, we've got some really good stories to tell. We've got some really wonderful experiences, and we've learned some valuable lessons, and you know, we want to share those things. So we're just going to share some of our life with you, and that'll be not only what's going on with us today, but very exciting things that we're looking forward to in the future, and we'll talk more about that in videos to come. But we really are on the edge of stepping out in faith to do some new things, some things that could be scary. Our choice is not to be afraid of them, but they're big changes, and we'd like to take some people along with us, because we really do believe that we're going to witness God doing some pretty awesome things. And He's already built in our lives some really wonderful testimonies about the reality of our Creator, how much He's still involved in the lives of people who love Him and choose to serve and honor their Creator in this life. I mean, God is just as involved now as He's ever been, and there are real blessings. And we're not talking about financial blessings. We have a lot of children, so we don't have a lot of money. So, we're rich. I mean, we are richly blessed. We have no regrets whatsoever. But we're not living in luxury, nor do we desire to.
The one mom from Sound of Music, I can't think of her name now, the Von Trapp family, she said, when her friend reminded her that she's poor now, she said, "I'm not poor, I just don't have a lot of money." So that's who we are.
And it is true. I mean, we're not poor, and we don't feel poor. We know that there's people who think of us that way, and that's all right. The thing is, there's always somebody, until you get to the richest person, there's always somebody who's got more than you have. And when we spend our time focused on celebrities, quote unquote, right, or sports figures, people in music or entertainment who are, at least on the outside it seems, living a life that everybody dreams of, you never really feel like your life is adequate. And we know differently. We know that the blessings that we have are far beyond anything that we've left behind to have the life that we have. And we also know that at this point, with a family as big as we have, we can't chase after both things. We can't chase after worldly type wealth and be good parents and have a good relationship with one another and embrace family and faith. We can't do both. It's not possible. There's only so much energy that we have. We can't have two masters, and we do believe that we've chosen the right one. So we'll share more about what's going on in our future, and also we will take you back a little bit to where we started and how we got to where we are today. And we started with shalom. We just want to say that we mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
We hope for you and for your family that you will have real peace. And so when we say shalom, friends, we're talking to the people who are finding meaning in the things that we're sharing. And we mean peace to all of you, to everyone, even people who might watch our videos and disagree with everything we say. And certainly there'll be plenty of those. So we're not bothered by that either. So shalom, until next time.